we were too late on Rwanda. We were too late on South Sudan, and so let's not be too late again on this one.
Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria.
We're paying attention and we're trying to put some pressure.
Because of the government shutdown, it hasn't been easy getting a hold of anyone, but we did manage to get an interview with Congressman Bill Huizenga. Let's see what he has to say about these allegations of a Christian genocide in Nigeria.
I'm glad that we're able to do this. This is something that's been very, very important. And as I've been saying to some of my colleagues, we were too late on Rwanda. We were too late on South Sudan and a number of other atrocities that have happened in Africa and other places around the world. So let's not be too late again on this one. What I'm concerned about in particular is you look at the Fulani and the radicalized Islamists, how they are attacking both moderate Muslims as well as the Christians. And I think it's hard to deny when you see 200 Christians slaughtered on Christmas Eve a few years ago. Clearly it was coordinated in the attack. And I've talked to people that were in the village. I've talked to religious leaders who have been experiencing this for years. They feel targeted and know that when their homes are being entered or they're being attacked in the middle of the night, this is not just some sort of, people are in conflict. They feel very much targeted.
Because of that, the U.S. response has been swift.
Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria.
President Trump threatening to potentially go into the country, guns blazing, to wipe out Islamic terrorists.
I too was surprised by the comments that they came out, that the president came out that forcefully. I suspect that is not a high priority of having actual military intervention specifically in Nigeria, but I think he does want to make sure that from his view, the genocide that is happening specifically against Christians, but also others in Nigeria, needs to stop.
But instead of military strikes, Congressman Huizenga now calling for economic sanctions.
Well, I don't envision a surprise attack. I don't envision that there's going to be a military response first. As we had talked about, I would first and foremost encourage them to look at the economic pressure and sanctions on both individuals and organizations. I think that would be the most effective. Frankly, this president has been someone who has pursued peace rather than just expanding war. So I think he would be very selective before he did anything militarily. As we talked a little bit about earlier, with our government shutdown here in the United States over the last 40 plus days, that has caused some real problems for us internally. And we are having to deal with that. So first and foremost, our attention is going to be on reopening our government, trying to get it back and functioning at maximum level. That doesn't mean we stop talking about or thinking about or acting on all of these other issues, but there will probably be more of an emphasis on our government operations initially here for the next couple of weeks. Then with our appropriations bills and the things that are going on, I mean, one of the ramifications is we aren't able to have committee hearings right now. So that's one of the ways that we help try to raise the attention on these particular issues. So we need to get back to having the government open so we can start having those hearings again, and those kinds of things. Sanctions really cut off the flow of money, cut off the flow of travel. We don't know who exactly is financing much of these operations from the Fulani or Boko Haram in the past. And what I do know is, though, if we put economic pressure on them and the inability to move money around, that will have an impact, I think a positive impact. So I want to get serious about it because, again, I'm not convinced that the Nigerian government has taken the situation seriously.
Huizenga saying
He thinks the Nigerian government needs to do more.
They need to demonstrate what are they doing to protect not just Christians, but certainly Christians, and what are they doing and proposing to lower that violence threshold. And I don't, that's, earlier you were asking, have I been satisfied with their response? No, because I think their response has been, no, there's really not a problem. Well, I think there is a problem. And I'd like for them to demonstrate either very clearly why they think there is no problem, which, again, as I had said in the meeting with the foreign minister, that I don't think that was adequately addressed at all, and more satisfactorily, what is their plan to deal with the violence in Nigeria, and both against Christians, but I think in general, much of the other, many of the other situations that are violent. And we talked earlier a little bit about the importance of Nigeria in not just West Africa, but the whole African continent, and the economic success and potential that is there. They being the Nigerian government has talked about, well, we don't want to have an unstable situation for Western companies to operate there. Well, you're allowing that destability, that instability to occur. So I would argue that it's not President Trump or the United States that's causing that instability. I would argue that when you can't guarantee the safety of your workers and your employees or your products, and whether it's in energy or mining or in a number of other things, you've got a problem. And obviously, Nigeria is a beneficiary from various forms of aid internationally, but they also are a beneficiary of businesses that are coming in. And I think it's in Nigeria's best interest to make sure that whether it's the Fulanis or others that are really the root cause of this, that it's addressed. I had a very frank conversation with the foreign minister back in May. Did not get satisfactory answers, and so we're paying attention and we're trying to put some pressure. If you are asking me, am I satisfied with the Nigerian government's response to both questions in committee or questions that we've had in private conversations, my answer has been no. Had I thought that they had adequate responses, we would not be having this resolution. We would not be having this legislation. And to me, my frustration is it doesn't feel like the Nigerian government has been taking this serious.